Guys, it is midnight. And this is actually not a joke. It really is midnight. Like, look. Do you see it? 12:05 a.m. on Sunday, September 30th, 2018. Meaning today, well, technically this is still uploaded on the 29th. But as of recording this, it is the last day of September for 2018. So yeah, guys, with that said, let's get into it. So today is another Saturday story. Technically, it isn't Saturday anymore. It is Sunday now because I literally just checked the time. It was literally 12:05 a.m. And I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot to do the Saturday story. So, yeah, I'm doing it now. So, yeah, with that said, guys, yeah, let's get into it. So, as I mentioned to you guys around a day ago, I mentioned that I would be doing the story on why Zoe's Lab 2 was created and how it died. Now, I'm going to be using several clips from mine and Rose Crystal's videos on that exact world. So yeah, so you can guys give a visual tell of what actually happened during the actual time that it was actually there, how it was created, and why it died in the first place. So yeah, here we go! To start off, I'm using Rose Crystal's video to show you guys what the lab looked like still, in case you didn't remember. So clearly, hold on, I'm gonna mute that. So clearly, this is basically what it looked like. This was back in 2016. This was November 16, 2016. So yeah. Because of this, this is basically what it looked like if none of you remember, but this is only the 2016 version of it. And yeah, so the whole story of how it was created, by the way, on September 29th, 2015, which, if this was actually still recorded on that day, I mean, the published date is still that day. But I'm going to still count it as today. So yeah, so basically 3 years ago today, we created the second lab. And we had a little grand opening party called the Zoe's Lab 2 grand opening party. Now, you may recall this from the Zoe's Lab 3 grand opening party on August 9th. However, I technically didn't show you that until the 10th. However, it was quite smaller than you may think. So basically, the whole reason why the second lab was created in the first place on September 29th, 2015, aka 3 years ago today, was because we lost the first lab. And we lost the first lab on September 23rd, 2015. Now you're probably thinking, how did we lose the first lab? Well, the reason how we lost the first lab is because our old computer stopped working on September 23rd, 2015. And that meant that we lost the lab. So around 6 days later, we made the second lab, and if you are unaware of what it looks like, I know this is going to be a clip from 2017, but this is basically what it exactly looked like, basically when we first ever created it. Again, this clip that you're about to see is from November 29th, 2017, but this is almost exactly how it was created and looked like at first, even though the clip is from 2017. Okay, let me just show you the clip. Alright, so basically this clip was obviously from 2017. However, technically, the building itself is basically built from 2015 on the exact day that we built it. Now, a little fun fact, the whole building itself the original design, was actually built on that exact one day and was literally completely done in that one day. However, the downstairs took a few days, around, I don't know, maybe around like a week. And yeah, this, right here where I was going into was the exact design from that time. However, I don't think we had the flower shop at first. So that's kind of a letdown. But that's basically how it looked like back then. But then here is where the lab actually looked different from itself. But yeah, due to the first lab it literally disappeared because obviously our old computer died. If our old computer didn't die, the first lab would have never been gone, and the second lab would have never existed. But our old computer died, so we had to rebrand the lab to Zoe's Lab 2, which lasted for quite a while. Again, it was started on the September 29th, 2015, and I'll tell you when it ended in a few minutes. But this is basically what the lab looked like after the corruption in 2017. So basically everything was gone at that point. However, I will show you a small little clip of what it actually looked like before the corruption. So, I put this in the full screen. But yeah, I'm gonna show you a clip of what it looks like before the corruption happened. And yeah, we'll see how it compares to today. Oh wait, this world doesn't exist anymore. We're in the third lab now. But I'll show you how it exists to right before it died. So yeah, basically, we took this whole time and it actually did look neat. However, I'm still using the same video from Rose Crystals, which honestly did not look as bad. Now, because of this, the pipes actually weren't there after the corruption. So see, look, this is a clear difference. Obviously, at the time, she was using the Toadtask resource pack, so you couldn't really see much of a difference at that time. But this is basically what everything looked like. It looked pretty much the same. The only thing that was missing though was the white beds. And this was due to the fact that white beds were actually not there when this video was made. They weren't even added yet. So yeah, this is basically what the lab looked like. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, here's another little hidden secret. You may notice this little door that Rose Crystal is about to go into in this video. Basically, this door, this little secret entrance, was never here after the corruption. See, after the lab was rebuilt after the corruption, this room was no longer here. Obviously, because we didn't want to rebuild it. So, that's a little hint. And after a week of building it in 2015, we absolutely loved it. But then in May 2016, the whole downstairs and the actual lab office itself got blown up due to Evil Street Leader's plan of blowing up the lab in May 2016. Now, because of this, we had to quite literally rebrand the whole lab so it looked like the one we had today right before it died. So, yeah, and then this is when Rose Crystal went back into the original. And this was Emerald's secret base at the time. But yeah, that no longer exists. Again, the whole world no longer exists as of this year. But yeah, this video is also about the hidden secrets in the world as well. So yeah, while we were actually building the whole lab in while we were rebuilding it in 2016 after the blow up, we obviously decided to try something new, which was obviously build it in the form that we had it today. However, that didn't last long. Well, actually, the downstairs of the lab was actually never blown up again. It actually was never blown up. It always stayed the same, no matter what. The only thing that ever got blown up was, you guessed it, the lab office. Now, other than that, in Lab of Doom of 2017, the lab office itself got half blown up. And in Lab of Doom 2018, which was the last Lab of Doom with the second lab, the place that got blown up was, again, the lab office, but in its original form. But you remember when the lab was completely flooded? Yeah, the lab was completely flooded, and we had to barricade it with windows, aka glass, to stop the flooding from coming out. So yeah, the lab office has gotten destroyed many times, and another room actually got half destroyed. This is including Snowland. Now, because Snowland actually got blown up during that time, we didn't really know what to do after. So basically, the lab has gotten blown up several times, and we had to consistently rebuild it during its time, and many other things happened. Now, there are other reasons. So, yeah, now that I've already explained the reason why it was created in the first place, I'm obviously telling you some cool fun facts of what's happened throughout its time, but until then, yeah. In January 2017, we celebrated 2 years of the exact lab itself, not the second lab, because it was only January at the time. So basically, we were celebrating 2 years of the entire lab coming and being born. So, we still give a small tour of the lab. Again, I am using Rose Crystal's videos to actually do this, since she gave more of a tour than I did back then. So that's technically why I'm still using her videos. But let me get to an even better part. This is basically more parts of the lab. But yeah, other than that, it really turned out great. Oh, and I'm also gonna have to convert the mob invasion machine when we do Halloween, so I think I'm bringing that to Lego's Island. I don't know. I might bring the mob invasion machine from the lab to Lego's Island. I'm not sure. But we gave more full tour of the lab. Now, obviously, this was like around 9 or 10 months before the corruption. So nothing really actually happened during that time. And before then, it really wasn't that much. So, yeah, gave more of a full tour, and basically, this is basically where everything was pretty much still blown up. However, as you can probably tell by the video here, you obviously know that the lab was obviously made for other custom reasons. And at the time, I didn't even know what custom even meant. To be honest, I really don't know what it means now. Okay, maybe I do. But other than that, the lab still served us a lot of big things. Now, here's the point where I get to the point where it eventually died. Yes, if you don't remember, the world actually did die. But let me bring you guys the clip of the lab and what it looked like right before it died. Or the last every time it was rebuilt before it died. Yeah, that's better. So here we are again with this video. This is obviously now recorded by me, as you can probably tell. But, this was the lab tour before it eventually died. Now, this was made on November 29th, 2017. So basically, this was pretty much the point where nothing was made. So yeah, this was the last ever lab rebuild for it. And things didn't go too well. Like, I'm actually serious. Like, things did not go well after this. I mean, the lab survived for a good 7 months before it died. Well, this rebrand of it. But after the rebrand, 7 to 8 months later, it finally died. And this is pretty much it. This is pretty much the point where everything died. And unfortunately, the last ever video we had with it was, unfortunately, sadly enough, the video called Rooms I Didn't Showcase in the Water Party. Yep, that was the last time it was ever shown because right before it disappeared, I was trying to make a video on it, but I couldn't get on. And then about a day later, it's gone. So yeah, I literally tried the day before to actually make a video on some updates, and then a day later, it's gone. So yeah, I know. Should have made one more video, but I couldn't get in because some unknown reason. But yeah, this was what the lab looked like for, unfortunately, the last time it was ever rebuilt. And now we get to the point where it eventually died. Unfortunately, sadly enough, this was the last ever party that ever occurred in the second lab. Now, to be honest, this was it was actually a really good party, like, to end everything off, because the month after, we didn't know that it would actually disappear. So unfortunately, the Water Party 2018 was the last ever party that would ever occur there, which honestly is very, very sad. Now, unfortunately, the last look of the lab, unfortunately, was not shown. When I was trying to set up the cave expedition and everything, it disappeared out of nowhere, suspecting of what could come next. And I'm about to show you the video of it actually disappearing forever. But a few more seconds with this clip. So let me give you a tiny bit more detail, and then I'm going to switch over to that video where it disappeared for good. So yeah, unfortunately, this was the last ever party to be celebrated here, as we never thought it would disappear later on. So yeah, honestly, it was actually a good party to actually end everything off, as we never knew it would actually happen so soon. However, to be honest, the world did last a long time. I mean, you gotta agree. 3 years. Like, that is crazy for one single world. I mean, we've never had a world that long. And that was honestly the longest world to ever survive. However, the next clip you're about to see is when it eventually died forever. On August 9th, 2018, after 3 amazing years of fun at the amazing lab known as Zoe's Lab 2, it unfortunately disappeared forever and was never seen again. Come to believe it, 3.5 years with that amazing lab. And again, on August 9th, 2018, it officially disappeared forever. And as you can see in the video, it isn't there anymore. So it was proven that the world was actually gone for good. And none of us expected it. So unfortunately, as of that day, it was officially gone forever, and it will never return. Because once a world's deleted, it's deleted. However, it wasn't actually deleted. It literally disappeared out of nowhere for, like, no reason. Like, we did nothing to cause this. It randomly happened out of nowhere. I did not press any buttons whatsoever. I would never press the delete button on that very world, as we've taken a long time of building, but unfortunately, it disappeared out of nowhere. Like, it literally disappeared out of nowhere. unfortunately, for 3.5 years, came to an end on August 9th, 2018. I still will never forget the world. It was still amazing no matter what happened in it. And it was just unbelievable. 3.5 years with one single world. That was crazy. I could never imagine having a world that long. Technically, it was Rose Crystal's world this whole time that basically led up all to this. Unfortunately enough, we do have the third lab now, so it kind of made us forget about this whole thing. But I still will never forget any memories that we ever had in this very world. It will never be forgotten. Thank the Lord, we have hundreds of videos with it. But to be fair, it shall be gone, and we must live without it. But expect better things to come in the third lab, which is what I did all day today. I updated the third lab like crazy, adding a bunch of cool stuff, such as preparations for Halloween, 3 years of the second lab, and that's basically what this whole video was about, was the 3rd anniversary of the second lab being created and turned it into this Saturday story. So guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this week's Saturday story. Tune into next week's on Saturday, October 6th, and I'll come up with something even better. I hope you guys enjoyed the story of why Zoe's Lab 2 was created and how it died. So yeah guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow for more videos such as a Sunday vlog, episode 300 of backyard videos, and finally Waddle Up. Alright guys, goodbye! Rip Zoe's Lab 2, September 29th, 2015 to August 9th, 2018. Again, we will never forget the memories we shared there.